This is a golden age romance comic. Teenage Romance is number 19. It's actually not really a bunch of teenage romance. It's just like younger people also. 20 somethings. They got a story inside the front cover. Jealousy made me a liar. This girl's a waitress. She doesn't like waiting on the snobby female customers, so she always flirts with the male dates. She turns down this guy because he's a busboy for a date, and they're like, "Well, talk about snobs." And this story continues in the back cover, actually. Let's see. She goes to the beach and starts flirting with some other girl's boyfriend here also. Runs into the water with him. He claims he's rich and has a Cadillac and all this stuff. It turns out this is the boy who's the busboy on the beach right there. He turns out to be a big shot, some summer stock leading role summer theater. The other boy was lying, he didn't have any money. So she loses out on dating the busboy because of her wanting to hook up with a guy with money. That's the end of that story anyway. These actually got some pretty good, decent artwork in this comic. I was always on the make. This is kind of funny. This blonde girl is always trying to steal other guys' boyfriend. Other girls' boyfriends, excuse me. They're on vacation at some dude ranch. She sees this guy and starts liking him. She pretends to twist her ankle to get his attention. Then the other girls start to lecture her that, hey, he has a girlfriend, you should leave her alone. And she's like, I don't want any lectures from you. He's old enough to make up his own mind. So she starts liking this guy, spending time with him, riding horses together. Then she sees some other guy she likes better. This guy's like the foreman of the ranch. So she's going to try to hook up with the other guy now, even though he's supposed to have a girlfriend also. And she pretends to be afraid of this horse. He's not really interested in her, it seems. So now she tries another ploy. She's in the canoe with the first guy she's hanging out with. She stands up to flip it over. It turns out the guy in the canoe couldn't swim, so the guy that she likes on the shore and his supposed girlfriend both have to jump in to save both of them. And it turns out the girl has a heart condition, like she's not supposed to strain herself. So now she feels like shit for making up this story. And here she's all depressed. Then the guy comes to apologize for screaming at her because he called her an idiot for standing up on the canoe. And they start spending some time together. And they start falling in love also. But she has to run away because she feels like shit because she made up the story. Made up the canoe incident. And she falls off the horse on the way back. And they're falling in love again here. But he has to she doesn't want to hook up with him because she feels bad about lying about and getting his girlfriend in trouble, risking her health. And she has to lie and pretend she's still interested in the other guy, the first guy she's hooking up with. She decides to leave early one morning to get away because she feels like shit. And the driver sees the guy's taking her to the train, sees Walt, the guy she likes, and she finds out that the girl that she thought he was dating is actually his brother's girlfriend. So she confesses to all the lying and stuff, and then they live happily ever after here in the last panel. This next story, I was an opportunist. This girl, blonde girl's a waitress working her way through college. They always make fun of this guy she's waiting on, calls him Tweety, because he's always wears a tweed jacket and doesn't seem to have much money. She's looking to meet a rich guy in college. She takes a physics class just to try to hook up with this guy that's got money. And if she finds out Tweety, the guy at the restaurant, is her instructor, and he starts liking her, and they start liking each other here. She starts becoming interested in physics because he's so interested in it. He starts telling her about what he wants to do in life, doing research and studying physics. And she starts pulling away here because even though she's fallen in love with him, because she remembers her plans that she wants to hook up with this guy that's got money. So she starts going out with him for a while. He invites her home for Thanksgiving. She avoids the tweed guy. She's afraid to tell him that she loves him because she wants to hook up with the rich guy. He tells her he's going away to Washington. So she goes away Thanksgiving weekend with the guy that's got money. We start doing all kind of fun stuff, playing tennis, swimming pools, talk about a dog show, ride horses. And she realized she's actually kind of bored with this lifestyle, just having fun 24 hours a day with no serious thoughts like the physics professor. So she leaves early here. She's headed back on the train. She goes to see him, but he's not home. Another professor took over his class. He's not home yet. He's not at the restaurant. She decides to wait for him to come home. Well, he shows up at the restaurant one day and she tells him the truth that she's really in love with him. Then he tells her he has to go away to a job in Washington to study atomic physics. So he tells her he'll wait for her. He wants her to finish college first. So they start sharing letters back and forth. And somehow I'm missing, this comic book is missing a page because it jumps to a next story. This story, I'm not sure what's going on. Something to do with this girl in the green skirt is running away because her boyfriend here is the music writer. She's the singer. I guess she was trying to hook up with this other guy who's some kind of big shot in the music business by like leaving him behind, like trying to hook up with the band leader. But then the band leader tells her she's not really that great of a singer. She needs more practice, and but he likes the guy's music, so he wants to publish this guy's music. So I didn't really get to read the whole story, but basically this girl was kind of a bitch. She was trying to dump her boyfriend to hook up with this guy that was in the music business, but she realizes she's an idiot at the end, apologizes, and I guess they hook back up. There's a written story. I didn't read that one yet. Choose the wrong dates. Window shopping for love. This story here, this woman is bored with her boyfriend, so she falls in love with this picture of this guy in the Spanish-American War because he looks heroic. So she starts getting obsessed with that painting and wants to buy it, but it's real expensive, so the guy tells her to come back tomorrow and meet the artist. Maybe he can work out a deal. In history class, she's thinking about the guy that gets the questions wrong. We're talking about the Civil War. She's stuck on Spanish-American War. She runs off, leaves her boyfriend behind to go buy the painting. And then she gets excited. She finds out the guy in the painting is a model. It's modeled after this model guy, so she wants to go out with him because she thinks he'll be a hero like the guy in the painting. The guy turns out to be sort of a jerk. He shows up like an hour late for the date. Takes her to a restaurant that's closing. He only talks about himself all night and how great he is. So she runs away before getting a goodnight kiss. Then hooks up with her old boyfriend, who's a good guy. Then the next story, I betrayed my sweetheart. This woman here, her dad's a rich asshole. He only wants his daughter to marry some guy that's got a wealth and a position. Must be a Republican. But she's dating some guy who owns a gas station. Which actually, a small business owner, that'd be something to be proud of, but they have to sneak around on the side because her dad doesn't approve. He didn't even know about this guy, so finally she tells him she wants her boyfriend to meet her dad, but he doesn't really approve. Her dad tells him, I think it'd be best if you stop seeing him. He doesn't have money or position. She kind of gets pissed off, goes to bed, and she tells her boyfriend about it. We can see each other on the side secretly. My dad doesn't approve. He's like, you're a coward. You're not good enough for me. So she's depressed. Her father suggests she go visit her aunt in Mexico. She goes to Mexico. There's her aunt. Starts meeting all these glamorous Mexican wealthy people. And she starts falling in love with this rich Mexican guy. And he asks her to marry him. And she's like, I have to think about it. She's still in love with the other guy. And then she says yes because she knows her father will approve of this rich Mexican. But it turns out his mother's a snob just like her father. They don't want her. She doesn't want her son marrying this woman because she wants her son to marry into some other wealthy Mexican family. So this time she's like, she finds out how her boyfriend felt. So she decides to leave Mexico and go back to her boyfriend and tell him how much she loves him. She kind of tells her father to fuck off right here. No. She's running away to her boyfriend. He sold his gas station. And they hook back up here. And decide to live happily ever after and get married. Then her father finally comes around and says he only wants his daughter to be happy. But it's a pretty good comic book, actually. Better than I thought it would be. Gorgeous dresses for you without paying one penny. So that's Teenage Romances number 19. Actually, they weren't really teenagers, more like 20-somethings, I guess. College people. Well, I guess you can be 19 and be in college, but that's the end of that story. Comic.